part of being a champion is continuing to go on no matter what adversities you go through. It wasn't about finishing first, second, or even last. It was the fact that I just finished. I think if I go out and win a pro show at my age, that'll be like a miracle. It'll be something that has never happened. The father time is there, but I can beat father time.
Welcome back to another episode of Live With, brought to you by Yamamoto Nutrition. I'm Dave Palumbo, and as you saw in the trailer, back by popular demand, the one and only Kevin Levrone.
Hey guys.
I was very inspired after watching Johnny's little intro he made of you there.
Yeah, it sounded, I heard it. I mean, it sounded inspirational. Kind of makes you want to go to the gym and get up and move forward and do something about the situation where you are, no matter what the age is.
You've inspired a lot of people in this comeback. You know, you've had critics, you've had supporters. You haven't given up. You made the comeback at the Olympia. Obviously, the knee wasn't feeling well. The legs didn't look the way they wanted, but you haven't stopped. You've been training. One of my questions is, you know, being 52 years old or whatever you are right now, everyone's always debating your age. How does it feel to walk around with all that weight on you? You know, you haven't had for so many years.
You know, starting off, it was one of those things that my body really had to get used to, Dave.
Yeah.
It was, I had took 14 years off and did nothing, just so the listeners know. Coming back was not easy, putting size on in that short period of time. It's gotten a lot more comfortable for me now, because the tendons and the joints and the ligaments and everything have to get used to carrying that weight. I rapidly put on weight pretty fast, and my body responds pretty quick. So, you know, of course, the heart rate goes up, carrying around that much mass. And for me, around 240 to 250. I mean, just recently I was up to close to 260, climbing up towards 270, and I had to come back. I really had to cut back because I had put on about 10 pounds within like a month, you know. Wow. And I had issues sleeping, to be honest with you. I found myself, you know, being restless at night. I was sweating through the night. So I dropped about 10 pounds right now. You know, because it takes a while for your body just to get adjusted.
Absolutely.
To carrying 5 pounds of muscle. And by me stopping and having the muscle memory and stuff like that, it just rapidly wants to come back. But you have to be very, very careful and watch your sodium intake and things like this, and really control, because it's not about how much you weigh, it's about how you look, really.
Yeah. You
know, so toning back, getting the water out of the system. You know, the water wants to come in and support the workload and the calories and everything else that you're sucking in. So you just got to be careful moving around in the gym. You got to be careful and make sure that your tendons and everything can handle that weight that you're trying to throw around. Not like it used to be, you know, because of so much time that I'd taken off. I just can't go in and take I used to go in and warm up with 225 and jump to 315 and go to 405 on the bench. Now I have to go in 50-pound increments, you know. Just take your time for the body to get adjusted. But, I mean, after it gets adjusted, you kind of feel comfortable with carrying that weight.
You're walking around and you actually look big now, which you didn't look before the Olympia. You look big. You look like the old Kevin Levrone, thickness-wise. Your neck is thick. So I have to believe that you're getting ready for something. Am I correct?
I am. I mean, I haven't stopped. And, you know, to be honest, for me, it's a little easier to train all year round now because I have a reason and a purpose to do it. Not that I didn't have it when I was competing, but when I was competing, it would rapidly come back, you know, like quick and fast. Now I find myself trying to develop body parts that, you know, muscle atrophy came in and set in. So I'm finding myself dealing with those areas and getting the muscle to really respond, just to get it back to where it used to be, or even close to that size. And I find myself, you know, hey, I'm in the gym every week, sometimes training body parts, lagging body parts, which was my legs, of course.
Yeah.
Every other day, Dave, and just pushing it back. Yeah, I mean, the show that I set out to do after walking off stage at the Mr. Olympia, and again, a lot of people said, you know what, man, you've achieved a lot. You did this. You don't have to compete, which I know I don't have to compete, but I promised myself one thing, that if I ever did come back into the game, you know, I do want to be able to at least say, you know what, I did win a pro show. That way the comeback just isn't washed away and me saying, well, you know what, he looked like crap. I can't walk off stage looking like I looked in 2016 and just say I'm done with it. Because I know with time, these body parts will come back. I mean, not 100%. I'm going to tell you, they're not going to come back 100%. They're probably not going to be 95% of what I was. I think I can get close to about 85%, 86, close to like almost 90, but I definitely won't be 100%. No matter how hard I train all year round, but I can get pretty daggone close, to what I used to look like. You know what I mean? So that's just a challenge for me. I love challenges, and it inspires me to get up and go every day and to stay focused and something to do. And it's challenging. Just like when I was first setting off to try to get my pro card, I was only 206 pounds. But I couldn't win a national show at 206, so I had to find a way, dig in a way, search out, talk to guys like you, guys that know how to put that muscle size on and calories and these things, and just implement that back into my regime. And I find myself doing that now, but doing it with more of a purpose, really,
right,
and more inspiration to do it. So I'm gearing up for. I was gearing up for the show in Canada. What was the name of that show anyway, Dave, by the way?
Vancouver Pro.
Yeah, the Vancouver Pro. I never signed a contract or committed to do it. It was talk. I talked to the promoter about the show, and I talked to Robin Chang about the show. But again, I mean, I pulled out of the show because of two things. Number one, to be honest with you, I'm not going to look the way that I want to look, and I'm not going to walk on stage not looking the way that I feel in my heart, body, mind, and spirit ever again. So that was one of the reasons. The other reason was because, I mean, I was on the road traveling with my supplement company, and I just dedicated myself so much to the brand. And I didn't want to push it with time. So time was creeping up on me. Then when I got home, I found out about a month and a half ago that my brother was terminally ill in the hospital.
Sorry to hear.
And we've been focusing on his health. I've been focusing on him for the last month and a half, and unfortunately, he just passed away, man. And I had to bury him on Saturday.
Sorry, man. Wow.
So it's just you get hit with these things, and I always tell my people and fans, and tell myself, no matter what you deal with in life, just keep moving forward. But unfortunately, though, all those three things, it kind of slowed the pace down for me to prepare for the Toronto Pro. But I do have another show on the horizon that I'm zoning in and focusing on.
Is this going to be before the Olympia or after?
To be honest with you right now, Dave, I'm going to look at doing a show after the Olympia.
I predicted you were going to do the Ferrigno Legacy Classic about 2 weeks ago. Am I right?
No, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, you're not going to do that. You're looking at the European tour?
Right now, I'm going to be zoning in, looking at the show after Olympia. It's a Cheru Classic, probably. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
Man.
Now, Kevin, let me ask you. You brought up your brother. You've lost a lot of your family. You lost your mother and father at a young age. I lost my mom. I can relate to that. But you lost a lot of your family. I mean, now you lost your brother. I mean, how does that affect you? How do you get past that? Because a lot of people get very depressed. They can't get out of a funk. They can't stay focused on life because they get so brought down by tragedy when it hits them very close to home. How do you get past that? How do you manage to continue to stay motivated?
Well, Dave, I've gotten through, like you said, a lot. I've got through pec tears. People say couldn't happen. Now I'm dealing with the PRP with myself, my knees and everything. You just can't give up, man. When there's so little doubt of hope, and you feel like, you just want to give up on life, or you don't want to eat, you want to stop, and you just feel like, sometimes you just feel like, man, I don't even want to live to see tomorrow. And believe me, I feel like that more than once, more than twice, more than 10, or more than 15 times when things happen to me in my life.
Yeah.
But you just cannot give up, you know. And as long as you don't give up on yourself, and you find that little hope, that little wind, that little fire down in there, or you might run into someone who's going through something worse off than you do, you know, and it just gives you that little inspiration to say, you know what, I got to do this because I have a lot of people depending on me. I've already put the word out. Now, again, for my brother, you know, he died like that, you know, and he was just gone. And me being there, watching him take his last breath, and I was talking to him within hours and hours, you know, hours before, and then he's just gone like that. It just makes you realize, you know, you hear one day, you hear 1 second, you hear 1 hour, and you're gone.
Yeah.
You know, so I just want to tell people, man, love your life, love the opportunity that you have. It's not worth holding animosity towards one another, and go out and make a change to inspire somebody, man. Because if you don't do that with the gifts and everything that God's given you through the airs of reaching people, man, then you're cutting yourself short, you know. And there's a lot of people out there who can be inspired by what you do, listening to what you say. You know, you're a role model to a lot of people, what you've accomplished and the things that you do on this radio station. I'm a role model. So let's just use what we have to uplift one another, man. And there's no use in us fighting over small things, because in the bigger picture, as long as we're breathing, our heart's good, and we have that opportunity, that's the most number one thing important, is to move forward and help other people get there and get through what they're going through.
Kevin, do you ever say to yourself, you know, things came so easy to me in my career, you know, maybe I took them for granted, because now you have to work so much harder at the age of 52 to get back what you had. You ever say to yourself, man, you know what, I probably should have given it a much more, you know, I guess concerted effort when I had the ability to do it at my best?
I've never regretted that, and I never thought about doing that, because I can tell you, if I did do that back then, I wouldn't look like the way I look now. I wouldn't be the Kevin Levrone that I am right now. I would have burnt myself out, Dave. I would have overdid things, and I certainly knew it, because I mean, it would have happened. Now, I had the gym back then that kind of pulled me away from competing, you know, training 24 hours a day for a whole year. If I didn't have that, and I just had bodybuilding to focus on 100%, I probably would have hurt myself a lot worse than I already did, to be honest with you.
Yeah, probably right. Now, let me ask you.
I got to tell you, you know, part of, because I didn't train all year round, it kind of fires me up to make me want to train all year round now, just to see what would happen. So
Right. But you're not 32 anymore. You're 52 now, so it's a big difference. Let me ask you this question. Flex Wheeler obviously making the comeback, classic physique. I know the fans would probably love to see a Kevin Levrone, Flex Wheeler, you know, rematch from the '96 Arnold, when you guys, I think beat him by 1 point on that stage. You think we'll ever see Flex Wheeler and Kevin Levrone on a bodybuilding stage together now that he's making the comeback?
I know he's doing classic physique.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it all depends what he wants to do when he gets in shape.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I mean, I think it would be cool. It would be cool if we could sit there and go through some mandatory poses.
Yeah. People would pay for that.
Side.
People would pay big money for that.
Yeah, quarter turns. Now, regardless if it's on a Miss Olympia stage, or we decide to do something one-on-one with a grudge match somewhere,
That's
and
right.
go out and rent a venue or something like that, you know, and just go for it, you know, and have our sponsors put up the
That's right.
put up the money and stuff. I think it would be pretty cool, man.
I think it would, because I don't believe that Flex will stay in classic. I think he'll like you. He'll do 1 year in classic. Then he'll decide, hey, I can get bigger. I'm sucking now, and he'll want to go again. And that's when I think sometime next year, even if it's a special event they hold at the Arnold Classic, Levrone versus Wheeler, special event, you know, winner take all, whatever prize money they put up, 100 grand, 50 grand, mano a mano, rematch from '96. Let's see who takes it.
Because I can tell you, you know, like you said, you know, when you get a taste of starting to look in the mirror and see what those shoulders that looks like, you're like, you know what? I'm not going to stop, you know. And the same way I decided not to stop, I know Flex is not going to want to stop once he gets there on that stage. He's going to continue to train and train and train. And, of course, you know what, man? Our fans want to see us. For some reason, they still want to see the guys from the 90s.
Yeah.
And that's what blows me away. It's like I'm more popular now than when I was competing. It's crazy, man.
Now that's my next question, Kevin. I want to know, obviously, your supplement company you have is making money. You're always traveling all over the world now. Obviously, the comeback financially was a good move for you. Was that one of the motivating factors behind the comeback?
No, it wasn't. And I never really implemented my comeback into selling anything. It was just something that the fans inspired me to do. And I realized that once I got in the gym and I made that commitment to them that I was going to do it, and I had that short period of time, like I had 5 months to work with.
Yeah.
And I went down there and I mentioned it at Jimmy's show. I put my ass on the line.
You did.
In order for me to start preparing, I had to do that. Or else I just wasn't, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
So I put my back up against the wall. So I had no choice but to come out and back up with what I had said. And that's what it was all about. It was about coming back, seeing how good my genetics was, to be able to put on muscle size within a short period of time. And that's pretty much how it was. I challenged myself.
Right.
We saw the outcome. It was what it was. Inspired a lot of people. Had nothing to do with sales or me wanting to blow up a supplement company or anything like that. It was just doing something that my fans wanted me to do, seeing if I could do it in that short period of time. And God, little behold, I mean, it got so much attention and so much wind behind it. It inspired a lot of people to get up and to do things for themselves as well. Now, moving forward, it still doesn't have anything to do with the supplement company. Now, it's just more personal for me.
Right.
It's more personal for me to say, hey, Levrone, can you get, how close can you get to what you used to look like? And that's why I'm going to take my time and do it right this time, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, when I see Johnny's been putting up screenshots of your Instagram. When I see the Instagram following you have and how many likes you get on these pictures you're putting up, I'm blown away. I mean, you have to be blown away. Can you imagine that you still have that crazy, crazy fan following?
It's amazing, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, I'm Kevin and stuff, but I mean, there's guys out there who competed with me that don't have it like that. I maybe because I've competed so much overseas. After the Olympia, I would do the tours, and I would be over there through my whole entire career. Now, keep in mind, Dave, I mean, I competed 69 times now.
Wow.
I won 22, 23 shows, something like that. 18 second place, but I only won through my whole career in 11 years. I competed on an average of almost 8 times a year, 7 times a year. But 7 of my shows that I won was only in America.
Right. Most of them were overseas. You're right.
Yeah, all the rest of them were overseas. And I think that's why I have such a huge following. I don't know what it is, man.
It is pretty crazy, though. Well, Kev, I want to thank you for taking some time talking to us. You got to let us know when you decide what show we're going to see you at. But you mentioned that it's probably going to be that Chiru Classic. Would you consider doing that whole tour again like you used to do in the old days?
No, Dave. No? My goal is just to drop it in, man, get one in. And if I can win a pro show this year, then it's going to qualify me for the 2018 Mr. Olympia.
Right. But don't you think that might be more difficult right after the Olympia? Because a lot of times you get the top 5 of the Olympia lineup doing these shows. Nah,
because the way that I know that I will look by then, and I think that show's 3 weeks after Olympia, so it's going to be hard. Now, I'm talking as a competitor now.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for those guys to hold that conditioning that long. And if they do come in there, then it's going to put me in a good position to beat some guys with some names.
All right. Well, it sounds like you're not afraid to mix it up with these guys, and that's what I like about Kevin Levrone. Never afraid to put it on the line.
No, you got to go for it, man. If you want to be the best, you got to stand up there with the tough guys. You can't run away from competition.
Well, once again, thanks for stopping in and giving us your opinions. We love them, and we love all the great information you provided us with. Very inspirational. Sorry to hear about your brother, of course, Kevin. Our prayers go out to you and your family. For now, though, we are out of time. This is going to be the end of another special edition of Live With. I'm Dave Palumbo. We'll see you next time.